Hello, humans.
Hello.
Alrighty, here's the dealio. This week, we have been trying to build a skylight. Hasn't gone great. To be honest. The first box we built it wrong. We had to take it apart and then we rebuilt it. And then I struggled really hard to cut the acrylic.
Yeah.
Thought I had fucked it up and broke it, but I had broken it just early enough that I could still use it.
And then she broke it for real.
Oh my god. I did everything that I thought I was supposed to do right, and then I broke it when I drilled the pilot holes, and then I went to screw in the screws, and it broke it, because I followed normal pilot hole rules, which is screw the pilot hole smaller than the thing you're screwing.
Mm-hmm.
That does not apply to acrylic.
No,
Fun facts, doesn't apply. Didn't know that. Now I know that. So now we have a new piece of acrylic. And also the weather has been bad that we haven't been able to actually cut the hole in the roof. So we built these boxes just like hoping they'd actually work with the hole that we're gonna cut. But we don't know. So we're about to cut the hole before we cut the acrylic just in case these boxes don't actually work.
Yep.
It's going great. It's been a great week. I haven't felt defeated at all.
That's a lie.
Yeah, that is a lie. So we're gonna cut the hole in the roof, cut the acrylic, put together the skylight. Finally.
We can do it!
And then we might fuck around and remove the other emergency hatch and cover that hole up. So, let's get to work! I love you.
Love to.
Alright, Jacob fought with this a lot, but there's a hole in the roof.
It is.
He's just removing the caulk with a heat gun and caulk remover. Kind of like what we did with the windows. We just didn't use the hot gun. The heat gun for the windows. Hot gun. Well, it is hot.
It is.
So once this is out, once all the caulk's removed, we're gonna cut this bit off. It's so dark you can't really see. But we want it basically so it's just going with the supports that are already in the roof. And then once that's all cut, we'll put all the pieces together. And just lickety split, super easy peasy. It'll be done. No time at all. I'm gonna try cutting this acrylic now. The first time I did it, it went kind of shit, so hopefully this time it goes better. Fingers crossed, because this one was even more expensive than the first one, because Jacob wanted the thicker piece of acrylic. Ooh, the sun is in me. Okay, so hello, it's the next day. This is the scrap piece of acrylic right here. And when I did this on the first piece of acrylic, I broke the acrylic when I was drilling it into the frame because I did the pilot hole rules that I was aware of, which is you drill the pilot hole smaller than the screw that you're using. But apparently in acrylic, you want the pilot hole to be the same size as the screw. And I didn't know that until I had already broken the piece of acrylic, so we had to buy a new piece of acrylic. It was a whole thing I talked about at the beginning of the video. So, before I screw in the new piece of acrylic that is thicker and was more expensive, I'm going to practice a bit first. I already did one and it worked. I also actually think I have to cut a little bit more off the acrylic later today, but that's fine. So what I learned from Googling and some helpful comments from people on TikTok, thank you, you should follow me on TikTok, it's in the description below, is one, that the pilot hole needs to be as big as the piece of acrylic, and the pilot hole in the acrylic needs to be as big as the screw, and that's very easily done it's just a bit of a slower process. Oh, the sun is just like not loving this shot. Okay. Sorry about the lighting. But you basically have to work your way up slowly, because if you start with too big of a drill bit at first, it'll catch too much on the acrylic and it'll cause it to crack, and to chip, and to break. And you don't want that. It's not the point, right? So you just slowly work your way up. So I have 4. I think they work perfectly. So I start on this little one, and then I go up to this slightly littler one, and then this one, and then I do this one. And I do that on all the holes all the way around. That's what I will do. Right now I'm just practicing just to make sure I have the technique down. And what else I learned is that you want to let the drill do the work. You know, usually when you're like drilling into wood and stuff, you really you put your weight into it, especially if you're drilling into metal. You kind of like put your weight into it. You don't want to do that with this. You really want to let the drill do the work, because if you put too much pressure, it again can risk like cracking the acrylic or chipping it and breaking it altogether, and that's not what you want. Also, it can be a little tricky depending on how close you are to the edge of the acrylic. Just because, like, I guess when you're closer to the edge, it's weaker, because science, I don't know. So I'm just gonna practice a little bit, just to make sure I get it, get my technique dialed in, so that I don't fuck it up, because we're not buying another piece of acrylic. Okay, so I just did it. I cracked one of them because I over tightened the screw, which I don't do that. Don't over tighten, because if you over tighten, it'll crack. Okay? You hear me? Don't over tighten. A nice person in my TikTok comments told me not to over tighten, and I went and did it again. Ridiculous. But I think I have a good technique down. I think, honestly, like the first time I did this, I used my impact driver. Don't do that, because they go way too fast. You just want to go slow. And like, even if you get it to a place where it's like really it's not that tight, you can always hand tighten it, so then you're not risking cracking it, which is definitely what our goal is, not cracking it. And that's probably what we will do, is like kind of hand tighten a lot of them, because this like goes a little too much. Yep, but we're using Tex Sharp Point roofing screws number 9, 1 inch in length, and it's a 1/4 inch hex head. Yeah. We got these ones because they're roofing screws, so they have this little neoprene foamy thingy on it, if you can see. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right there. Which helps like make a good seal. We're following Kelson J's Skylight video, like tweaking it a little bit, just because like our bus is not the exact same as their bus, so we can do it a little bit differently, but we're following theirs. Super. The only thing I wish is that Jay had mentioned that my pilot holes needed to be bigger than I made them, because he did not mention that in his video. Just saying. But Jacob's just getting himself some lunch, and then once he eats lunch, we actually have to rebuild the frame. We made it bigger than it needs to be, so we're making it a little bit smaller. But
What?
Nothing. I'm talking to the camera. We're building the smaller frame, and then Jacob's gonna go out and buy some thicker PVC board for the bottom frame.
Oh yeah.
And while he's gone, I will be attaching the acrylic to the frame we're about to build. Right now, Jacob is setting up the air compressor. Okay, so we got our new frame put together. It's just a little bit smaller than the other one. We realized when we first made measurements, we measured incorrectly. Which means I need to cut the acrylic just a little bit more. So I'm gonna do that. I'm out of breath. So what I've learned from cutting acrylic multiple times now is score it more than you think you need to, put more pressure on it than you think you need to. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna get back to you. I grooved it so many times that it wasn't bending. I hit it with a hammer and a chunk came off, so we're gonna just keep doing that. Where'd I put the hammer? Oh. This is not the preferred method. Please do not listen to me. It's also not working that great. So... I don't know what to do. Okay, the hammering ended up working pretty okay. Like, it's not perfect. Like... Yeah, like, it's not perfect, but, you know, it would not bend, and I was impatient, so... Fixed it! Did it! Woo! So next up, I need to find a Sharpie. I think it's in the garage. So next, I'm going to place the acrylic over the, oh my god, what's it called? The frame, and mark every 3 inches. And that's where I'm going to drill the initial pilot hole through both the acrylic and the PVC frame. And then I'll take the acrylic off the PVC frame and just put it onto wood to do the slow buildup of the drilling, like from the smallest to the biggest. And then we'll go from there. I'll tell you the next step after I do all that. First I have to go find a Sharpie though. I gotta go into the garage, but that is what we are doing next. Jacob's tidying up because he has nothing to do right now, but I am just gonna go side by side, making the pilot holes as big as they need to be. I'm only gonna show you one side though, because that's like really boring. Is finally put together and we're finally going to put it in.
Yeah, we are.
We had a piston thing. It was stupid. We're gonna buy a new one. You wanna go onto the roof?
Yeah.
Okay. We got a Skylight. Good. It's got a, oh, it's so white. Okay. It has a latch, and it opens. Oh. And make sure it closes light. It's a little janky. We will admit it's a little janky, but like, everything we've done is a little janky. I'm gonna get off the step stool. But everything we've done is a little janky, so like, considering it's like not the most janky thing we've done.
No.
And it took us 4 fucking ever, so we're gonna take the bus back to its parking spot right now, and then go to Home Depot to get a couple things to really polish it off.
Polish it, seal it.
No, well, when I said polish, I didn't literally mean polish. I meant like, just like, finalize it, finish it nice, like, polish it off. Do you not know that phrase?
Yes, no, I do.
Okay, we're gonna go do that. And I'm very excited.
Me too.
Like, just like, look at how good that looks.
It's very bright in here now.
Yeah.
It's not quite.
The wool is kind of like causing the. Wait, I'll film it from this side because the wool's really killing the vibe. There, like, look. Wait, Jacob, stand underneath it. Because you now. And that is the one spot you don't have to worry about bonking your head.
No. It's very nice, actually. I love this.
I am so excited.
I was excited about it, but I didn't think it'd be this nice.
You kept being like, where are we putting the Skylight? Do we really need a Skylight? He didn't understand I wanted it to open. Like, he really just thought I was like, no, we'll just like put a piece of plastic in the ceiling so we can see it. I had to like explain it to him like multiple times so he understood what I was wanting.
Yeah.
But I think it's great. I think it was definitely worth it.
It is great.
Honestly, if we had like the willpower, we'd probably put more on them in here. Like one in the bathroom, one in our room, but we do not have it in us to do that, do we?
Oh God, no.
All right.
There was so much pain and suffering with this one.
Off to Home Depot?
Yeah.
Alright, I just got home. Ignore that sound in the background. Winnie is eating dinner and she's a big fan. Oh. Yeah, so also ignore my messy apartment. Just it's fine. I'm not a very clean person. I hope you guys liked this week's video. It was frustrating to build that skylight, and we definitely will not be building a second one. Why won't it focus on me? Stay focused on me. We definitely will not be building a second one for above our bed. Definitely not. Yep, that's it. I will see you guys next week. Like, comment, and subscribe. You can check the description below to follow us on other social medias and for all the like materials we use to build the skylight.